kind of excited. I saw some ATC on over here in the European region, but wouldn't you know it, just on the edge. Actually, we're going to LOWI. Where are we? That is. Yeah, we're in here somewhere. I don't know why we're not showing, but yeah, we're just on the edge. Unfortunately, this sector here is being covered, but we're flying around in this area of the Italian and Swiss Alps. It's a trip from Sonnen, Italy, into Innsbruck. I guess Innsbruck is in Austria, isn't it? Yeah, I need to go back and watch Stripes. We're so damn lost. We're going to be back in the King Air 200 tonight. That'll be fun. We're going to be flying Slant Lima for a change. That'll be different. That'll be interesting. And yeah, it's just been a while. I was hoping, like I say, to catch a little bit of air traffic. And sometimes on Wednesday you can get that. It's a little bit late in the evening for those guys, so I understand. But yeah, here we are, Sonnen Airport. It's an Orbix freeware airport, and then we're going to be departing north and then heading east into Lima Oscar Whiskey India Innsbruck Airport. And yeah, should be a lot of fun. Really, the departure and the approach, as you might expect, are the most interesting aspects of what goes on here. You can see Sonnen is a kind of an east-west orientation, and so you kind of have to follow one of these little canyons out. You can't just take off straight and just follow your runway heading and make your vector and all that good stuff. You actually have to follow the terrain just a little bit, and that of course depends a great amount on the weather. And so let's see what we have. So 234, that favors a west departure. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to probably follow this for pretty much this west departure. You can follow the terrain pretty close to runway heading until we've climbed up above the the mountains, and then we can make our turn and come back here and intercept this Uniform Zulu 67 airway. And that will, I'm looking at the VFR, but really this will be where we're at. Uniform Zulu 67 to Korid, and then up here to Bursu on the Uniform November 871, and we'll follow that actually all the way up here to Obadu, and then it makes a little bit of a right hand turn to Dejes, another right hand turn to Gamsa, another right hand turn to Maydeb, and I'm not saying any of these right, and I apologize. And then we're on actually an arrival, the Maydeb 6 I think is the arrival, but I'll show you that on our Navigraph here in just a little bit. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. It's just about an hour flight today, so we'll get things rolling. We'll get our flight plan entered, and we'll be off before we know it. Anybody else notice the porter that's over there? kind of a cool feature. Just waiting to fly around the mountains, man. I've got a friend, his name is Downwind Sim, and he describes that as basically a flying engine. And he's absolutely right. This is essentially the same engine as the King Air has, just kind of bolted on the front of like an otter or something frame. I don't even know. So it looks weird, but man, it powerful. And I think you could probably climb straight up in the air fully loaded with that sucker. It's so strong. All right, enough of that. What are we doing here? Let's make sure that we have a couple things going on here. Number one, I didn't check this. I should have beforehand. Let's make sure the sounds. Oh yeah, we got to have the sounds, especially if it's just me and not air traffic. We got to have the sounds turned up, and then we need to have. Whoops. That's good. We need to import our controls. Just make sure our controls are what we need them to be. Got some props set up. And I apologize for that. That should have been taken care of ahead of time. Throttle, prop lever, and conditioner. Okay, I think we're ready to rock and roll. So power lever needs to be idle. All the panel switches, by the way, are off. Everything's off here. That all looks good. Prop lever will come fully forward. And condition lever cut off. You will put the cabin signs on and our heat to auto. I think Mrs. First Officer is home from work. That's cool. Okay, cabin signs, cabin temp auto, standby pumps will come on. You can hear those running in the background. We're going to turn the battery on right here. Everything's coming alive, including avionics. That's weird. I wonder why the avionics. I thought I had that switched off. Maybe not. Yeah. Well, alright. Shouldn't affect us either way. Fuel, okay. Firewall switches are open. Standby pumps are now going to be turned off. We'll check the crossfeed. We'll look at the annunciator panel. Okay, that looks good. Left and right, that looks good. Fuel quantity, we have full tanks, which we really don't need, honestly, but this baby is strong enough that you can pretty much take off fully fueled and not have any trouble at all. Okay, voltmeter tested, annunciator panels tested, and we have a stall warning down here. Where's the stall warning? No, that's not it. And I don't remember where it's at. Well, that's the silencer. It's been a while since I don't know where the stall warning switch is. All right, we'll look for that as we're going here. Yeah, we're ready to start the engines here. Okay, so right ignition switch on. We're going to watch this guy come up to 12%. And we're going to introduce a little bit of fuel. Wow, that red line just about went to the red there. That's a little bit strange, but it is equalizing nicely. Yowza, I don't know what happened there. Generator can come on, and this actually goes fully forward. Turn that starter off, and we'll get the left-hand side going. I wonder if I introduced too much fuel here. Alright, there we go. Let's see what happens on the number 1 engine. Oh, another really strong start there. Might be time for me to configure my throttle quadrant again here. I don't know if it's turning off when I go all the way to fuel cutoff like it really should be. That could be part of the issue, but we didn't get any warning lights. We got right to the edge, and but we're stable, so we're good to go. Did I get the generators both going? Yes, I did. All right, now we can bring those fuel cutoffs back down here to low idle, and avionics on. Let's see, what is our Barrow 3013. We can check all that good stuff here. Lots of excitement upstairs again, as you can hear, as is usually the case this time of night. We are going to be using GPS tonight, and we'll set our initial course here. So the runway at Sonnen, as I mentioned, is an east-west, and that west departure is runway 26. It's a 259 heading. I can extinguish those. So let's see here. Oops. Let's spin that around to 259er. That'll be runway heading, and we'll fly based on the terrain, not necessarily just based on the runway heading, but that'll give us a place to start. Altitude. No air traffic today. There is no official departure out of Sonnen, and so we're just gonna climb straight up to 19,000. And really, I filed 19,000, but we're gonna climb more if we need to get out of the weather. It does look like it's pretty fair conditions over here right now, so that should not be a big problem. And then we need 2280. Always takes me a little bit to remember where the click spots are. I really like, this is the Flight 1 King Air 200, and they put the click spots on the corners. I actually really, at first I didn't like that, but now I do. It's because it's a lot easier to find these little areas than it is to get it right on the ring. Like that's the one thing about Carinado that I have a hard time, is I can't quite get it where it's supposed to go on the actual dial. But if you get little click spots out here in the corners, it just makes it, for me anyway, just a little bit nicer. Okay, transponder, we are set 1200 on the ground, and all right, it's time to pull up our flight display and get things programmed. How do we do it? Okay, so oops, I need a backspace there. Alright, try that again. Lima, Sierra, Golf, Kilo. Should be Sonnen. Alright, that looks good. Entered. Let's put that in as the arrival airport. We want our arrival airport. Actually, we'll put that in here. Lima, Oscar, Whiskey, India. Alright, there we go. LSG to LOI. We will go ahead and put in our arrival. Like I said before, it is the Madeb or Madeb. I actually think it's made. That's gonna be what we need right there. So we'll enter that. All runways. That looks good. Load that, and we can actually we can look at our weather into Innsbruck. Right now it is raining, but basically calm. Winds are variable at 1 knot. So for us, that means we can pretty well come straight in. Come in from the west and just land here, and Innsbruck also just a single runway. So runway 8 is what we'll expect, at least initially, and we'll kind of hold off on putting that entry procedure in. Although the one thing about this is the nicest G1000 in P3D, I think, right now. I could put that in. I could have it on standby. In fact, I will, just because that does drive me nuts about like Auto. So we could put in, we have, what are the choices? We have a localizer, runway 8. That might be our, we do have an RNAV. What would we prefer? I think if we have the ability to fly an RNAV today, we might as well take advantage of that. So I'm just looking here. Let's just pull that up and see. Oh heck, what am I doing here? Here, let's look at it this way. Open up that chart list. Let's take a look at our arrivals. So we have, well, this doesn't even have the made 1B, so that doesn't help us. But it does have, so here's our RNAV Yankee. Let's see what that looks like. Pretty straightforward. Coming in, straight in down this kind of this little chute right here. Follow this little bit of a right-hand turn, and yeah, then you're landing. If you miss it, you're heading out. Make a little procedure turn hold out there. Alright, that looks pretty straightforward. I think that's what we'll put in. RNAV Yankee, runway 8. If things change, then well, we'll change with it. RNAV 8 Yankee, and that was Whiskey India 8. Was that Elam? Actually, Elam is the initial point there. Alright, so we can load that in, and that'll be in and not affecting us at all. But in the meantime, though, let's do this. We do have a few other waypoints that we have to put in, and we can do that. So we need Lammer. By the way, pre-warning, I am watching Game 7 of the World Series at the same time here, so if there are momentary random pauses, you'll know why. At this point, we can pick menu and we can load the airway, and again, it's the Uniform Zulu 67. Maybe I have to do this first, sorry. I need to be on Lammer so it knows that. So if you're on Lammer and you go to activate or load an airway, it'll know that that's the part of the airway that you want to start on. Uniform Zulu 67. Boy, the frogs. The frogs are really going. Alright, Uniform Zulu 67. Enter that, and then we would like to get off that at Corid, which is highlighted right now. Load that up. And then after Corid, we need Bursu. BRSU. And from Bursu, we go to Ditton. D-I-T-O-N. And then on Ditton, we're going to come back up here and we're going to enter another airway with November 871. This will help us. There's a lot of little waypoints on that. And we're going to get off on MADB, MADEB, or MADB, as the case may be. Alright, so there we go. That looks good. checking against my notes here. Glamour 67, Corrid Pursuit, Titten, Ace in November 871. Maybe, yep, that looks good. All right, let's put that away, and we're getting close. If someone's checked in, by the way, sorry, I don't mean to ignore you here, but I am actually having issues with my OBS chat. So, okay, I can see you. All right. Hello, Downwind Sim. I can see you on the Twitch stream, but I can't see you on the OBS stream. So, again, I'll be doing the best I can here. Once I get airborne, I'll be able to visit a little bit more. But good to see you there. Yeah, Mr. Ducks is just going crazy right now. He's ready for me to get the heck out of Dodge. So I think I will oblige him. All right, we need avionics. Whoops, I'm sorry. Before taxi, compass, barrow, CDI, all that's checked. Taxi clearance. Well, we don't need clearance because we don't have any air traffic, but we will put all of our lights on here. I should have had the beacon going earlier. And I do think I will have the pitot heat on just cause. And then, boy, I think that's about it. Next thing we'll need to do is we'll need to do a little run up or before takeoff procedure. So if we're departing west, right now we're facing south. Basically, we need to head out here and take a left-hand turn up to runway, what I say it was 8 and 26. What was it? Yeah, 826. Okay, so I'm gonna make the call here. Sauna traffic, King Air, Oscar, Oscar, Sierra, Kilo, Mike. We're gonna be taxiing on Alpha to runway 8. Sauna traffic. All right, I think that looks like everything on the checklist. Pull the brakes in. Power. It's a little strange, this plane. That's kind of a headache to taxi, but part of it is it needs quite a bit of throttle to sort of break free initially. But then, man, it is a sensitive booger. Here we go. As is the case for some reason with this aircraft in particular, I do get some scenery stutters in some of the most unexpected airports. There's not a lot to this airport. I mean, it's a cool little airport, don't get me wrong. Basically the terminal area, and that's it. But it's I shouldn't say that. The town and stuff is also modeled. Oh, holy cow! I didn't taxi via. Did I just go the wrong way? Okay, I did two things that were really not good. Number one, I didn't taxi via a taxiway. I back taxied. And I didn't back taxi to runway 9, or I'm back taxiing to runway 26, which is what I should have been doing because I'm departing to the west. Alright, that was a doubly bad mistake right there. That's a heck of a way to start the stream, Downwind Sim. Okay, you're telling me jokes here. Oscar, what, Mr. Duck, Mr. Not. I don't know what you're saying. I don't get the joke. I'm lamenting my bad documenting my taxi mistake already. I haven't even left. I'm screwing things up. Well, drat. Could be worse. You could be the Nationals. They just hit into a double play. Let's get lined up. We'll get configured to go, and then downwind he'll explain the joke to me. All right. Rocket brake come back on. Bleed air valves need to be open. Maybe they already were open. Bleed air valves. Yeah, they were open already. Okay, interesting. Must have forgot to shut those off last time I shut things down. Cabin pressure needs to be set. I think we'll say, again, about, I don't know, 5,000 feet. It's mountain area. Everybody's used to maybe 4,000. A little bit higher altitude here. A rudder boost, we'll turn that on. Autopilot will turn on. It's a little bit of a weird way to set your flight director. You turn the autopilot on, you turn the yaw damper off, and then you push the takeoff go around button, and that pops up your flight director where it should be. Set the flaps to approach. Auto feather on. We'll put the engine ignition switches on. We'll put the landing lights on. Heading is set, and we're ready to go. Sonnet traffic, King Air, Oscar Oscar Sierra Kilo Mike, departing runway 26, Sonnet. Apologize if you're a pilot in the area. And then I really screwed up that, and hopefully you didn't have to go around or anything like that. All right, so we're departing to the west. We're gonna climb out and follow the terrain until we have enough altitude to clear. Then we're gonna turn back to the north. We're gonna make a right-hand turn and try to intercept that Uniform Zulu 6-7. Okay, here we go. We're going to power up. We're going to need every bit of power here that we can get. This is a tricky takeoff and not a super long field, so we're going to fully throttle it all the way. Looking for 1500. There it is. We'll release. It'll be a little bit of an over torque here, just for a minute, possibly. Need every ounce. Alright, there's the torque. We'll pull back just a little bit. There's rotation speed. There's the classic Orbix wood-burning stove. You know it's Orbix scenery when you got the one guy in town got smoke coming out of his chimney year-round. And on we go. Alright, I've been trying to nudge back the power because I don't want to keep that over torque going. Pull back the prop lever also. Continue to pull back on power. There we go. These engines will fail if you overstress them. I've heard. I've never done it myself, but I've read and seen other people do it. But following the flight director somewhat, just at least trying to get the pitch and the climb right. We're somewhere in that 180 to 200 because that's usually pretty good. And again, no major departure. Just don't crash into a mountain. Essentially, we'll just kind of keep climbing out. Take a look at some of the stuff behind us because it's kind of pretty. The plane itself looks kind of washed out. Alright, can't do that too long as we do have some terrain issues to think about, but kind of come around here, and I think we can make this right hand turn, follow this little draw. That'll get us clear of the scenery, and down here on the bottom you can basically see we've got some work to do. We got to come around and pick up that first waypoint. There is L'Amour, Viva L'Amour. I don't think it's that kind of L'Amour. Just gonna make our uncoordinated turn. Gonna head back to the northeast, basically, and try to re-intercept that magenta line. So there's 7,500. We're pretty well clear of everything. There may be a few things here. There's a few 14ers in this neck of the woods, but I think for us, we're looking at, you get up around 10,000 and you're good to go. And the skies again look beautiful. They are. It's going to be a little hazy, but not half bad. Uh-oh, Houston on the board, home run, 1-0. Will the home team get a win for the first time tonight in the World Series? Has there ever been a World Series that's went all 7 games where the road team has been victorious every time? I honestly can't think of a time that's happened. Alright, well, so far so good. We're out and about, climbing through 10,000. See some of those higher peaks over there. Those are a little bit further south than we're going to go. Right now our main goal is to intercept here and just pick up that that airway there. That's the, what is it? Uniform Zulu 67, I believe. Oh, there's L'Amour. Oh, actually, that's the one we want to pick up right there. So let's level out here. I need to take a look, see if I'm on a vector, possibly. My flight plan, that might be what's going on. Here, we'll do this. Flight plan. So that is our active leg. Okay. I'm a little confused as to why that is magenta and that's not. This is strange. It's wanting to connect me someplace I don't want to go. Let's zoom out. Yeah, that's our route. I don't know what this is here. I've got something entered into the flight plan here that I must not have intended to, so might be that right there. I have the departure airport in there twice, maybe. Alright, so there we go. Let's see what that does to our... Yeah, there we go. That's more like it. So I don't need to necessarily go direct L'Amour. I'm going to just try to intercept this. That's what I was looking for. And that's Much better. Sorry about that. So now we're going to go ahead, we're going to fly that intercept course, and what we can do here is actually turn our autopilot on, we can set our heading, and we can engage the nav, and it'll hold our heading until we intercept this airway, and then it'll grab the airway and we'll be off and running. So that's the G1000 is much nicer than some of the other autopilots that you've seen me fly, in that with those, as soon as I hit nav, man, it just beelines it. It takes a hard right-hand turn because it looks at this and says, "Oh, you're way to the left. Let's really go to the right and intercept that," which then that causes, the plane to kind of turn back and forth while it finally does pick up the route. But that's what we're looking at doing. All right, we're through 10,000. We're closing in on our altitude of 190. We probably could have got away with a little bit lower than that, but sometimes in some of these areas, the clouds, they'll pop up there above the top, and so usually 190 or 200 is a pretty safe bet. We'll go ahead and put the baro to standard. We can turn off the auto ignition and the auto feather. What else do I still have on here? Oh, I still have left ignition turned on. I don't need that anymore. And landing gear, taxi light can come off. Alright, very good, very good. Let's see, anything else? Anything else? It's a busy aircraft, so again, downwind, if you're giving me a hard time about something, I need just about 2 more minutes here. Once I get leveled off, I'll feel much better about chit-chatting with you. Okay, flaps are up, gear is up, yaw damper is on. Yep, yaw damper is on. Auto feather off. So now I got to get the torque to 91 and the prop RPMs to 1800. That is the optimum climb power, and I didn't quite have that for about 90% of my climb out, so that's not good, but it's also not the end of the world. I'm not too far off. I was more worried about when we had we were over torquing it there. That's really where you can do some damage. Okay, and that's pretty close. Might be a little bit low on the percentage of RPM, but that's okay. That'll work. Nav is on. OBS disabled as needed. Baro standards, pressures, and temps. Everything else is looking good. We're all in the green. We're on track, and so that's a good thing. And I can turn. Let's see. I can put the prop sync on down on cruise. Take a quick peek again at the weather at Innsbruck. It's still the same, variable at 1 knot. I hope that stays that way. Alright, so let's head back to Downwind Sim's cryptic joke here. How are things? I hear ducks, Mr. Knot, Oscar, CMPN, LIB, Mr. Ducks. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I will ask the missus. And this is coming from a guy, I'm saying I don't know what he's talking about. This is coming from a guy that like 90% of what I talk about is either some movie reference or some song lyric. So I'm thinking it must not be either one of those. But then again, I know Downwind Sim is as old as I am, and we're both both older than we care to admit. So it's got to be some kind of a pop culture, like an old school pop culture reference of some sort. Yeah, oh, not a reference to my knowledge. Okay, alright. Well, I will keep thinking about it. So, here we are making the turn. Again, once in flight, it's actually just a little under an hour. It takes me almost as long sometimes to get things set up as it does to fly, but that's the difference in slant Lima versus slant Alpha, is the workload is really, you know, the stuff that you do on the ground ahead of time. Ooh, 1808 and 91 right on the dot. That's pretty good. And then you just are monitoring systems and you're getting information. We do have showers, by the way. The visibility is going to be a little tricky. Hey, Dakota Pilot, how are you, man? Welcome to Innsbruck. Not reading all of it correctly. All right. That's what we're going to be going down into, something like this. While the wind is not much, it says we have rain, we have a few clouds at 300, it's broken at 700, it's broken at 2,000. So we're going to lean pretty heavily on that RNAV approach, which kind of scares me, honestly, but that's okay. We do have some other approaches we can pick if we wanted to, but I just think that RNAV Yankee is going to be the way to go. Dakota Pilot, I hope you're having yourself a fantastic Wednesday. Things are good in my world. I'm going to turn some lights on here. Feeling like I'm finally getting a little bit better. My eyes are returning to normal. Thank you, Lord, for that. And yeah, we survived a Wednesday. We're on the downhill slide, although the next 2 nights are going to be pretty busy for me. But yeah, I tell you what, there's nothing I think that a guy takes advantage more of than his health. I don't know why that is. At least it's me. It's like you don't appreciate how good you have it until you have pink eye or whatever it is. It's like then you're just a big whiner, can't do anything, and driving your family nuts. Yeah, so it's good to be feeling good, because I think my wife was getting ready to kick me back to work no matter what. So downwind, I was going to tell you just a couple things. I posted a few links on Discord. For those of you that don't know, downwind is attempting to ease my transition into the X-Plane world, which I'm greatly appreciative for that. But I've been looking around at some scenery, because I'm planning a bit of a backcountry party here coming up later later in November. And so me, being as ADHD as you can possibly be as a 50-year-old man, as I'm searching for scenery, backcountry scenery and this and that, you know, I'm finding all these other links to other sceneries and different parts of the world, and I did find something there from some guys that apparently have some Idaho airstrips, and I know that you had mentioned that you've done some mods to that package. I found most of them looked pretty rough, pretty default still. I don't know. There's a lot of them though in the package, and it is freeware, so I don't know if that's something that it like gives you like a little bit of a starting point where you're not having to reinvent everything. But anyway, so just so I wasn't feeling so bad about, because I was like getting a little bummed out about all this awesome freeware scenery that I've been hearing about in X-Plane and everything I looked at. It looked rough. It looked bad. And so I went over to Orbix, and because they have a bunch of freeware stuff out there, and as Downwind Sim knows, I'm kind of a add-on snob now. I mean, P3D has ruined me for that. But I did download a few. I think there's 3 or 4 airports that Orbix has as free downloads for X-Plane, and because I just was curious, what does it look like? How good do they look? And anyway, I just, as reported on my Discord, they look good. And yeah, I think you're right. The next thing you and I need to do, well, I say you and I, the next thing I need your help with is figuring out how to get the ortho going. And that's the next big question with the Orbix stuff, is how well will it mesh with the mesh? I mean, how will it blend? And that's always a huge thing for me when I'm looking at when I'm looking at scenery, whether it's freeware or payware, is it's got to look good in and of itself. I mean, the runway, the taxiway, the buildings, the hangars, the static aircraft, that stuff all needs to look good. But what goes from good to great in my book is when the airport itself blends in to the rest of the scenery around it. And so yeah, Downwind, I'm thinking maybe this weekend. I've got work tomorrow night and Friday night, but I think I'm going to be free Saturday, so I don't know what your Saturday looks like. I do want to try to stream something Saturday, but that won't be till later on, and maybe the two of us can chat briefly in the morning and you can get me rolling, because if I understand you correctly, it's a bit of a time-consuming process. Alright, got to pay attention here. We're getting to Ditton, and Ditton is, alright, oh yeah, we're up here already. So, we're on the November 871, and then that is where we make it all the way to Maydeb, and at Maydeb, see, it doesn't even give me that. Alright, so I'm having some issues here. We're going to just have to kind of wing it. My Navigraph charts are not connecting to my sim, which is not a huge deal because I don't really use that as much as I used to, but when I get to MADEB, Maydeb, I am going to join. See, I have approaches listed here because it's Europe that you don't have. Oh, there we go. There's a Unicom call. Sweet. But anyway, that's one of the benefits of the Navigraph charts, is that you do get those European, well, worldwide charts. So we are going to do this though. We're gonna just dial up the RNAV Yankee, and we're going to use that as our guide. So we're coming in here, Whiskey India 811, which is, looks like it's, well, we have Elam up here, so We need to be 13,000 at Elam, and 10.6 at 811, which is right there, and then we just step down 9,600, 8,300, 814. We need to be on the 3.77 degree glide slope. All right. So this is a little bit like the approach into Aspen, where you just have to hit your marks, or it's a fairly long, as you can see, the go around. You really have to climb out of the valley, because Innsbruck is right in the middle of a valley, extremely beautiful. Of course, the ultra famous approach is the one where you
50 Lima, take off from 34.
You come around here and you make that hard right-hand turn. You come into, you land to the west. That's kind of the famous approach. And I guess we could do that if we wanted to. I mean, the winds are only, it doesn't matter. The winds are one knot in variable. What do you think? You have should we go ahead and just do that? Stream the setup. Okay, good suggestion, Dakota. I think that's actually a very good plan, because that would help me remember when I'm trying to do something, another mesh, another ortho.
Yeah, buddy.
So if we took the localizer, I'm trying to pick the one that's the turn here. I think is this the one? Fly over? No, this is when you fly over, you turn around and you come back in. That's not the famous. It's not this special. No. That's it either. These are all ones where you're coming from the east, landing west. Where's that? Maybe it's the visual approach. That could be it right there. I don't know enough about this approach. I've just seen it. So how about this? What if we did the localizer runway 26? We'd be coming in. But does that require us to come in from a different spot? I think it might. Yeah, you know what? I think the nice thing about that, though, would be that we'd actually have a localizer to grab, which would be good in low weather conditions. All right, I'm going to make that change. The localizer runway 26. It's going to either be that or it's going to be the RNAV Echo, which that looks funky. All right, so we'll do that. Localizer runway 26. We've got some time. We can pull that up. Backtrack here. We're going to pull up the localizer 26. Oh, I'm seeing two localizer R and W. Oh boy, I wonder what the difference is. Let's load this up for now. And we would want, I'm just looking at the other chart right here, we'd want the RTT. Yes, that's what we want. That's our initial approach fix. So we're going to load that. That's going to change our flight plan just a little bit here. It's going to actually take us, I think, zoom out, past the runway. Okay, yeah, I have a little bit of a discontinuity here. I have to go from A to B all the way over here to RTT and then back, which I don't think that's going to be super hard, but I can just connect the 2 points. I don't know about the terrain in here. It's all like 9,700, so I need to keep it above. I think this already says it's 9,500, so I think if I'm going to do that, I need to just stay above 10,000 for sure, and I'll be clear of everything as I come direct RTT. Sounds like a plan. I don't have my chat on. Meanwhile, downwind sim is going, no. You don't want to do that. That's not the way we do it. That's okay. He knows how I roll. Alright, so we have an en route hold. Yep. I need to get rid of that. That's what I need to do. Alright. That's gonna take out that discontinuity, I bet. Yes, okay, good deal. So, alright, so Maid B, that we were supposed to be at 13,000 at Maid B or Maidib. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna do that at least. Because that keeps us clear of the terrain. And 10,000 or above is above the terrain. It's listed on the VFR sectional. The MSE is listed at what? 11.2. So we're 13,000. We're in good shape. That's the bottom line. And we are looking at coming to Kamsa, then Maidib. Alright, 1,500 feet per minute should do the trick. We're going to pull back a little on the power. We don't need to be getting any quicker than we are currently. Alright, so Dakota pilot suggesting, yep, good to know. He has the UHD mesh, which I do remember you talking about that, and I'm interested in learning more about that also. So streaming that would be good, and yeah, reading about it's one thing, seeing is another. And Al South has checked in. Al South MIA, hello my friend. If you could see more, Al South, this is Austria, and these are the Alps, I believe, and that's the kind of stuff that we're trying to fly into. We're gonna let our computer pick the correct canyon here to fly into, and trust that we figure out where we're going. Right now we have rain. Here's the story at Innsbruck. Rain, a few clouds, 300, broken at 700, broken at 2,000, and a 3018 altimeter. So 300, that is just 100 feet above minimums. I'm thinking I need to check that, because we may be below minimums here. 3018, let me set that first and then we'll look. We are going to fly the localizer runway 26. And alright, I'm looking again here to see what it tells me. I'll share with you guys, why not? So the runway altitude is 1894. Oh boy. Minimum decision height 2250, which is 356. So the current weather is actually 56 feet below minimums. Am I reading that correctly? Now, if I do a 4% landing, I have 55, 56. I even have to be higher seeing, oh boy. So I'm thinking we may not be legal to land here. Well, okay. I guess we'll find out. If we have to, we'll go around, and if worse comes to worse, we'll just fly back to Sonnen. And that's also a fun approach. It's not Innsbruck famous, but it's in the mountains of Italy type of fun. Legal Schmiegel, what are you inferring, my friend? I am so by the book. That actually, I think, is my website, www.bythebook.com. I mean, if I wasn't flying by the book, right there's the pages of the book. I've got the book out, man. Maybe I just don't always get to all the chapters I'm supposed to. Okay, so 13,000. Okay, does the book say I can't do that? Now, the book says the limit of a crosswind takeoff for that plane is 15 knots. But when I turned into the wind on the grass in a backcountry aircraft, I was into the wind. I was perfectly legal. I may have trimmed the trees a little bit, yes. Maybe put a little scratch on the left wing there, potentially. And I can't help it if they built the landing strip in such a way that it doesn't take advantage of the natural wind coming down the canyon, can I? The guy's got to land, right? Alright, so we are at Maid B at 13,000. So we're good to go. We do have the correct altimeter in there. Let's do a quick approach checklist. So our approach is loaded. Our approach course, we do need, I'm sorry, my approach is not loaded. I do need to get to make sure that my frequencies are set. Okay, the localizer frequency for runway 26 is 111.1, and it's done that for me. That's cool. I am going to flip over to heading mode so I can set my approach course 255. It takes one quick second to do that. Okay, now we're back on back to nav mode here. Alright, so that's all set. Heading and the localizer frequencies are set. The decision height has been discussed and is currently being debated. And the speed is a little slow. How about we keep it up around 180 or so? As I'm looking at the terrain here, 11.2 is what is minimum safe elevation. I don't really see anything above here. It flattens out, so we are now actually going to fly past, and we're going to enter in. Here's Radenburg. That's our initial approach fix out there, and so I think we're safe to be 13,000 for now, and then when we get to Rattenberg, we need to be 9,500. But I'm going to wait until we pass Innsbruck, because then we'll be in that valley and we'll be able to descend more safely. get in here, and then we're in the valley. So as soon as we get to Innsbruck, we'll head down to 9,500, and we'll be good to go. Dakota pilot laughing, hopefully with me. High quality H2O. I'm double fisting tonight. I've got some hot tea and a little 7-Up. I'm gonna need both, I can tell, because it's about to get, it's fixing to get soupy here, as they say down south. It's actually okay if you laugh at me. I'm sort of used to it, and I kind of deserve it, really, in almost every way. Sketchiest sim pilot on Twitch. Would that be accurate? Would you think? All right, if you're not watching the World Series, top of the fourth, Houston leads 1-0. The Nationals have, I think, only had one base runner to this point. That wasn't entertaining. I went back and watched it that night, and it really looked like everything was looking pretty good. Well, actually, it went from being very sketchy at about 500 feet to actually looking pretty good at about 50 feet until touchdown. And then as soon as I touched down, that's when it all went wrong. But a couple things that I researched. Number one, to help with the taxi when you're on the ground in a crosswind, now not a 15 or 19 knot or whatever it was, I had the rudder pedals and the rudder pedal brakes going both at the same time, and it didn't have much of an effect. I have the rudder pedal brake set up. I just don't know how to release my parking brake. That's the one I still haven't found. But anyway, but one thing that I did see a real world tail dragger pilot talk about, just inadvertently. You know how you just watch a stream because it looks interesting and you pick up like 4 things just as they're talking. But the one thing that they said that helps in a crosswind taxi situation is to pull back on the yoke to put back pressure on that back tire, and that helps your steering control. And so I did actually was in the tail dragger before I got on here, and that does help. That is simulated very well in X-Plane. And then on the landing, what's important in a crosswind is to make sure that you're making a wheel landing and not trying to make a 3-point landing. If you make the wheel landing, it's easier then to use your elevator to straighten yourself back out. So I haven't tried. I messed around with the taxi, but I haven't really tried the wheel landing suggestion just yet. But I'm eager to try that, because almost every time you land, you have some kind of a crosswind. But okay, so Dakota pilot's saying it's the V key by default, or you can assign. Yeah, I'm trying to assign a button on my throttle quadrant. That's what I have in P3D. Is I have, like, I'll show you here. Watch the parking brake there. I just have a little. Oh, geez, that's the gear. What the? Don't do that. Wait a minute. Oh, there we go. So it's just a little button on my throttle quadrant that I can use. But you're saying if you just depress the rudder pedal brakes, the parking brake should release. Okay, I'm going to try that next time. Yeah. choke in the lap while in. See, I didn't know that. I did not know that. So as always, I learn from my mistakes. Okay. Just saying. This is going to be interesting. A little bit of aliasing going on right there, but otherwise this is fun territory. Oh no, look at this guy. I got a little tractor walking by me. You look good, dude. Oh, that's the best. Can I take a picture of you? Will you go over there just a little bit so I can see you? You look good, John Deere. Dear John. Alright, turn around, let me see. I'm going to share this picture if I can, if he turns around. Alright, let's see. Hey, you look good, dude. That looks good. I got a couple. So his mom has made him a John Deere tractor costume for Halloween, and he just tried it on today. So that's what he's doing. Full sound effects, by the way. I'll put that on the Discord. I think you'll enjoy it. Wait a minute. What the? I'm trying to do too many things at once here, aren't I? Why do I have to? Alright, it'll have to wait. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm trying to do it on my mobile phone here. Yeah, here's the problem with Halloween at the Leroy house. This morning's temperature was minus 14. Tonight it's supposed to get into the negative 30s, and I'm sure tomorrow by this time it's going to be really cold. I mean, it warmed up and got like to almost 20 today, which, you know, that's doable. But for little kids, man, it's rough. So Papa has stashed a bag of candy just in case things don't go so well on the trick-or-treating side. Alright, so yeah, get the pressure on the tail wheel. Still working on that with the DC3. And yeah. Okay. And that's so downwind, or Dakota, that's what I am trying to do for sure. Dakota Pilot, what DC3 do you fly in X-Plane, if you don't mind me asking? Because I see that there are a few options. Closing in on Innsbruck, by the way. And again, when we get to Innsbruck, we will be in this little valley and we can start to descend. There's the V-Flight, and there's the Aeroworks. Hey, good evening, Agent Bravo 7 and Party of 6. Your table is waiting for you. Welcome to Innsbruck, Austria. Is it negative 13 springtime up north? Yeah, okay, it is. It was a little bit, yeah. Hello from Winnipeg. Oh, yeah, that's right. I saw you were doing that in the Airbus, nonetheless. Way to be versatile. Good to have you along, and hello to everybody else. We're attempting not to crash into a mountain in Austria. This is the situation, just to bring everybody up to speed. Oh my goodness, 757 Spy is here. I thought I was going to have pressure last time, and luckily, Bravo 7 ended the stream before the spy was able to watch my landing, but the landing on the coast of Oregon was nothing compared to what we've got going here. So this is the situation. Rain, no wind, which is nice. Few clouds. Oh, now we're at 600, scattered at 800, broken at 1,300. It was a few clouds at 300, which is 56 feet below minimums just a few minutes ago. So whoever's coming over from Agent Bravo 7's channel, prepare for some magic. I've been getting coached up, downwind sim. Alright, we've got somebody, I think, just followed or something. I don't know how to set up the alerts very well, so I hope that it looked good on your end. It's supposed to be, I don't know, but yeah, anyway. So you have the AeroWorks DC3. Okay, that's kind of what, oh, wait a second. Yeah, the AeroWorks, yep, the free one, good. That's the one I'm familiar with as well. Uh-oh, hold on, what's going on here? Gotta pay attention now, guys. We should be going, oh yeah, that's the problem. Okay, we changed our approach. We were gonna land to the east, which is probably the smart approach, but we decided to change to localizer 2.6 so we can pick up the localizer and take advantage of that. But we are gonna have to make this tricky little corridor here. So here we go, and we're gonna go down into the soup. We have to be 9,500 at Rattingham, or I don't remember, RTT. I'm less than confident in my ability to negotiate this particular terrain, even though I have been in here 2 whole times, so I know it like the back of my hand. Rattenberg, RTT, Romeo Tango Tango Rattenberg. That's the initial approach fix, 9,500. That's what we're looking for. Alright. Well, thanks for the follow, 757 Spy. Obviously, I'm a big fan of yours and what you do, and it's cool to have you along for the ride. I have learned a lot, actually, from watching your streams, even though you probably don't know it. But very informative, very enjoyable. Okay, so this is us. We are, the danger here is if we get off of this a little bit, there's these big mountains that we won't like. So we're trying to get back on this kind of backtrack course. We did have a little bit of visibility that we were able to utilize, but that's since gone by the wayside. I should have turned my prop sync off a little while ago as well. Downwind Sim, you are really, I've cleared you of any legal obligations a long time ago, so don't even worry about it. Alright, we're going to turn the CDI. Junior first officer, looking good. You are looking like a good tractor. That looks so good. Your mama did a great job on that. Alright, that's part of the magic of the stream. I'm a 4th generation house, and the junior first officer loves to be a part of things. Ooh, wait a second. I don't want to go here. I'm going to shoot this gap. I'm just looking at my terrain map right here, using it as a guide. As Downwind Sim always says, use the terrain map as your guide. That's my grandson, and I'm gonna put a picture of him up on my Discord channel in his tractor suit, his homemade tractor suit that his mom created. He's ready for Halloween. Yeah. Yes, I'm a proud papa. Okay, we've got enough visibility here that I feel good that we've missed all the terrain, and then once we get on this, I'm going to feel much better. Here is a little bit of an issue though that I didn't think about. Going direct RTT, we got to make this turn here. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Dropping down in here like Luke Skywalker at the Death Star, and we got to make that turn without really seeing what the heck is going on. Okay, so it looks like we'll have some room here to the north. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swing out that way. We're clear of terrain at 9,500. I'm not worried about if we're not right on RTT, but if we get out here, it does get a little bit more. The altitude's a little higher, so Red 5 standing by. Okay, R2. Oh, wait, actually, this would be the point where Obi-Wan would say, just don't worry about the radar, man. Just use the force. Just feel your way through those Austrian Alps. Right now, 757 Spy is thinking to himself, what have I subscribed, or what have I followed? Where's the unfollow button? Okay. So the goal, oops, we just descended a little bit. We want to stay 9,500. Speed looks good. Not worried about that. Goal is to, you can see the terrain over here. You know, it's not too bad. I think we're going to be okay just to kind of hand fly this uncoordinated turn. Get on the magenta line. One thing we will do is this. Landing lights coming on. Our auto ignition and auto feather will come on. Yeah, I see the terrain in front of us. I think we're okay. We'll swing it just a little bit farther this way, and then we can make our turn back to RTT. Alright, at least we've got that going for us then. Okay, I'm feeling like we don't need to rush this. We're clear of, that's just all cloud. Now we're 9,500 right now. Speed is good. Alright, we're going to start our turn back and pick up RTT and start our approach. Must be something about the Alps, man. This baby loves to climb right now. There's a few hilltops, but again, we stay above 9,500, we're going to be just fine. Like I say, I've made 2 flights in here already, at least one of them successfully. So, I know this car, honey. So once we hit RTT, then we need to start thinking altitudes here. We keep 9,500 to Adwick, then we start our way down, stepping down 8,700 at Delta 17 and 7,500, and on and on and on. And oh, I'm leveling off here as I'm looking at the chart. I don't want to do that. Oh, I'm over 10,000. I don't want to do that either. Although I think it's better to be maybe just a hair too high than too low around these parts. It's looking like we're going to be just fine. We're in the groove. I'm going to re-engage the nav mode just until I kind of get everything sorted out here on my other monitor. I want to make sure I have everything laid out for me, because I'm not going to really have an opportunity to switch back and forth and be clicking around. So chat messages, yeah, I'll catch up with you. I'll talk to you on the ground. As always, this is the portion of the stream where short prayers are appreciated. Oh boy. Look at that. What could go wrong? Visibility back down to few at 600, scattered at 800, broken at 1,300. All right. Let's see if that'll take me back. Should take me directly to where I'm going here. Oh, I need to get my... Now it's going to be... It's trying to be a little squirrely there. Didn't want to come off heading mode. Okay, where am I at? 9,000. Alright, 9,500. So I'm pretty much where I need to be. Okay. Alright. Get on this leg. I do want to do... CL... Alright, final approach fix. This could be an issue. All right, there we go. LOC1. Okay, this could be an issue, guys. This data is outdated and it's not matching my chart. Oh boy. RTT is the initial approach fix. This elbow is where we start the descent, and actually I'm going to do this. Let's pop our heading mode back in again, and I'm going to change my CDI over, and we're just going to we're going to do the best we can to get lined up with the localizer, but as you can see, we've got some issues here to deal with, and so I'm thinking that, well, holy cow. Well, we're going to grab this localizer when it comes in, and looks like it's sneaking in on us here. So I'm going to arm the approach. We will wait until we clear the terrain, Maybe was a little late on that. As soon as we get over this hillside, we should be good to begin the descent. Pull the power back here. Let's get about 180 to 160. Alright. Well, we at least know we're lined up. That's my low power alert. There's my glide slope. Okay. We actually might be okay here, guys. I did not know if this approach had a glide slope. Let's see if it grabs it or if I have to manually follow it. Looks like we're descending. Shoot. We got half a chance of maybe pulling this off. These points on my screen though are, I mean, this is a little bit of a dated airplane, and so yeah. Hopefully it'll be close enough that we can at least be in the ballpark here. Not exactly on the localizer as well as I would like to be, but I think we're getting close. I'm going to pull the power back, and we are. This is, if I understand these charts correctly, these points are labeled by how far away you are from the runway. So we're about 14 DME from the runway. You see, we're kind of to the right just a little bit. I don't know why that's not doing a better job of. It's sort of leaning that way, but first notch of flaps coming in. See if we can get our speed under control. We were a little bit quick for that first notch, honestly. Alright, localizer's looking better. We're a little bit above the glide slope. About 10 DME. Second notch of flaps. There comes the rain. I do have pedo. Outside air temperature is 37, so I don't need to worry about wing icing or anything like that at this point. Anything close to 100 here is a pretty good approach speed. I might keep the power up just a little bit, just in case we have to go around. Go around, by the way, is a right-hand climb 291. Set that. Yeah, we're pretty close here. Do I have time? Yeah, about there. Right hand climbing turn 291 to 11,500. I'll come talk to you. Ooh, I see the ground. That's good. Third notch of flaps. Actually, it's flaps fully extended. Okay, we're in the right part of the world anyway. Have ground contact. looking. I might have to break out those downwind sim binoculars here in just a little bit. Getting close. Speed looks good. Altimeter set. Flaps down. Gears down 3 green. Go around altitude and heading our sets. Have some runway lights out there in the distance. Okay. I've got the runway in sight. There it is. All right, so let's go ahead and get lined up. The outer marker. Just a bit high right now. Speed's kind of creeping up on me. Oh, there was a gust. Still saying that it's only variable at 1, but it feels a little bit bumpy here. Oh, and you know what I didn't do is I didn't make any kind of a radio call. Innsbruck traffic, Skylane, King Air, Oscar Sierra Kilo Mike, short final, runway 26, Innsbruck. Was not on the comms like I should have been. Bit of a floater. Kind of drifted to the left a little bit also. All right, manual braking. And welcome to Innsbruck. Yeehaw. That went a little better than I thought it would. It was a little bit more clear down here than I thought it would have been. That stuff that way looks nasty. Ooh, boy. I think we made a good choice coming around to runway 26. It sure helped having the localizer and the glide slope, and yeah, that took a lot of the workload off of me, a lot of the stress off of me. So, Innsbruck traffic, King Air Oscar Oscar Sierra Kilo Mike. We are clear of the active. Taxi to the ramp, Innsbruck. I honestly don't even know, where do you go in a King Air? Is there a is there an FBO? Because I might need a stiff drink after that. All right, anybody still watching this thing here? I don't even know. All right, I'll back up here a little bit. I do fly the A2A. I love the Accu Sim, and yeah, it's a beautiful aircraft. The 182 Skylane from A2A is one of my all-time favorite aircraft. I don't know if you were talking to me, but that's the chat message that's on the bottom right there. It may be directed to somebody else. There looks like a friendly hangar. We're just going to kind of go in there off our right. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Confidence in the okay. So Downwind Sim has a bit of a history. First of all, if you don't know Downwind Sim, he's the unofficial CFI of the Melvin Leroy channel. So he does have a bit of a bit of license in terms of, you know, the amount of ribbing that he gives me pretty much continually, but it keeps me humble, it keeps me grounded. But it can get him in trouble when it's time to go sterile cockpit, and so, you know, I'm a little worried about that. We've been talking about that. I you know, heard he got banned on another channel, another YouTube's channel. So he's a great guy. If you don't know him, you don't know Al South MIA, you need to get to know them, because they're two quality people. My Sim brothers, without a doubt. There's a guy waiting for me. He doesn't know this, but he's going to kind of be my unofficial marshaller. You know, we're just going to come right in and park next to the unmarked van. We're going to just pretend that van is taking us to our hotel room. Oh, Ken Pryor checked in too. Hey, how are you doing, Ken? I set her down at Innsbruck. I'm actually going to do a quick... Dude's like, what are you doing, man? This is my hangar. VIP. There you go. How could that be for anybody else but me? All right, let's do this. I do want to take one look. We're going to disconnect from VATSIM. We're going to do the clunky replay that P3D has. Yes, please don't judge me. Let's go back. Is that enough? Nope, that's not enough. That's one thing I really, really like in X-Plane already, is the replay ability. Alright, let's take a look here. Let's see how we did bringing her home.
500.
Not much of a breeze, but I tell you what, I was getting rocked. Maybe it was just my nerves. I flared it, I think, a little bit too soon, it felt like. Kind of gave a little wing dip. It wasn't good, but yeah, a little bit of an early flare. I would have been okay if I would have just held it there. And just, other than being a little bit to the left, that actually wasn't as bad as I thought. I never hit the center line anyway. All right, well, let me go back here and do some catching up on the chat while I do some outro music here, so you don't just hear my heavy breathing. Okay, let's see. Holy cow, downwind, you were in rare form. Used the force, I did, okay. Do a Immelman in reverse course. Yeah, so we do have plenty of references to movies. Pretty much that's the majority of what I talk about anyway. So every live stream has especially. There you go. I wave my riding crop around. Yeah, I have regular visits from the junior first officer, and he, as Mikey McBride would say, he enhances the audio quite a bit. Let's see, Al South had to look at what the heck the Immelman maneuver, whatever it was. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out too. There, Leroy's telling you that he's not telling you that he made the approach in VFR conditions. All right. Confidence in the cockpit. That's why I keep coming back. I did get into approach mode there, Dakota Pilot, and the glide slope was a nice surprise. And yes, snow. It's Innsbruck, right? I mean, if it snows in the middle of Wyoming where I live in October, surely it snows up there in the high country where all those skiers go. So, all right, Agent B7 actually gave me a little bit of love on the approach. It was decent. It was fun. It was really a lot of fun. It was really a lot of pressure with all you guys watching. I'm gonna be honest with you. No, I'm just kidding. It was fun having you along. Watch out for the FedEx 727s. Yep. Where's the sky lane? Yeah, I'll be in the sky lane here soon. It's one of those planes that just keeps coming back. It's just too much fun and too versatile not to fly, and it's definitely what I like doing on this channel. The more GA, the better, with the occasional break for a vintage airliner, which I usually end up crashing, but that's another story for another time. All right, wherever I want to park, that's kind of what I did. And again, I think the VIP, that's fitting. So, and then Ken Pryor checking in. Ken has some cool stuff going on this week. That's pretty awesome. The story you shared on the Discord, man. That's really cool. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, so you explained it there. Yeah, I got to accompany his dad to a Veterans Honor Flight. That's coming from a guy that doesn't. My dad's not around anymore, and so that's really cool, Ken. Really cool. All right. Well, the song title. What's the song title? It was whatever Pretzel Rock plays. I have no idea. I just put it in there, like I say, so you don't hear my heavy breathing as we head out the door. Speaking of heading out the door, let me just tell you real quick what's coming up. I don't have a lot planned, but I do have a few things coming in November. This weekend, Saturday, I am going to get back on the horse that bucked me off, the DC-8, and I'm going to do a flight from San Fran into Chicago O'Hare as part of the VAT. It's not the VAT. It's the VAT USA Transcon event, I think. Then on Monday, I'll be chasing my buddy Rob from Slant Alpha Adventures. He's doing his Beach 58, Lower 48 state tour, and he's actually getting close to where I was born, Pierre, South Dakota. And so I'm going to tag along with him as he flies to Pierre, and then probably for the next couple flights, because he's going to be going through Wyoming, and yeah, I'm gonna be showing him all the little hideaways and places you can get good pizza and all that good stuff. And then Wednesday, I'm gonna actually do another X-Plane stream. By that time, I think I'll be feeling pretty good about the 172 tail dragger from Prop Strike, and I'll try to find another place where it's blowing 19 and gusting 24 and see if we can't get ourselves into trouble. And then on the 9th, that following Saturday, it's historic route number 2. We'll be back in the L1011, and we'll be flying from JFK to Miami. But that's pretty much going to do it for me tonight. Again, everybody, thanks so much for checking in. It's awesome to have other simmers along. And until next time, I'll be looking for you on the TCAS. You guys all take care. See you next time. God bless.